Hey guys, it's Ashley, and today I'm going to be doing a video that I have been seeing around and I've been wanting to make, but I've honestly been very scared to make because it involves me reacting to an old video, and I hate watching my really old videos because it's just embarrassing. And so today I'm going to be putting aside that worry that I have and I'm just gonna do it. So we are going to be discussing whether I actually read the books that I buy by reacting to the very first book haul that I ever made on my channel. I first saw this video done by Reagan over at Peruse Project and I love it. So I had to do it and I just had to give her credit because I definitely took this idea from her. I just wanted to do it myself. But since that book haul and the years that have followed, I've become so much more mindful in the books that I buy, particularly whether I'm going to actually read them. And it's always helpful to have a tool that will make your book shopping life easier, which is why I'm super excited to talk about today's sponsor, Karma. I've worked with Karma multiple times before. You guys know how much I love them, so this should come as no surprise to you that we're working together again. If you guys are unfamiliar with Karma, they're essentially an app and Google Chrome extension that ensures you never miss a price drop or a coupon code on any of your favorite items. There's gonna be a link in my description down below if you want to learn more about it, so make sure to check that out. I've been using Karma for the past couple of months and have saved so much money as well as become so much more organized with my book buying lists and things. It used to be so chaotic, but now I can just have it all in one place and have so much more peace of mind when I'm shopping. Recently, I actually used Karma to get a discount on a new copy of Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, which recently came out, and I ordered the UK copy, so it's just going to take forever to get here, which means I don't physically have it with me right now, but I'm so excited to read it, and I'm so happy I was able to get it for a discount because it's a brand new release, and sometimes it's hard to get a good price on those. So if you guys are interested in Karma, it is so easy to download the Google Chrome extension on your computer. You just click a little button. You can visit any of your favorite stores online and go ahead and save any of the items that you're interested in. And then you can let Karma know to send you a notification either via email or mobile push when an item that you've saved goes on sale, comes back in stock, or has a relevant coupon. And Karma also has a list feature, meaning you can organize all of the items that you've saved into various wish lists depending on category or however your brain decides to categorize them into, which honestly helps me so much because organization is something that I struggle with, especially when I'm creating lists of things that I want to read or buy or whatnot. So I love this feature. Karma will also scan the internet for coupon codes when you're checking out on your computer so that you can ensure that you get the best price for whatever you're buying. But this is only available on the computer, so make sure that you're using the Google Chrome extension in order to use the coupons. And my favorite part, you can actually earn Karma cash when you shop with select retail partners. So you can earn money by spending money. And it's great. So if you guys are interested, you can use my link, which will appear at the bottom of this video right here, as well as in the description box down below, so that you can download Karma as a Google Chrome extension on your computer, and you can start saving money and organizing all your things and just being a smarter shopper. And thank you once again to Karma for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my work. I really appreciate it. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the reacting part of this video, which I'm still not looking forward to, but I'm going to put aside my embarrassment and my cringe right now, and we're going to just go ahead and play the video. So here we go. Hey guys, what's up? For those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do, my name's Ashley, and today I am going to be doing my first ever book haul. I have never been the person to go into Barnes & Noble and buy like 4 books at a time and then go on Amazon. I hate this already. Who am I? Why do I sound like such a child? This was 5 years ago. This was in 2016. I think in like the end of April that I filmed this and put it up and whatnot, but 5 years and I sound like such a child. What is happening? Oh no. Oh god. I didn't order like 7 and have like 70 books in my house at a time that are brand new. Like, no, I have never been that person. For some reason, after building a bookshelf and after collecting a bunch of books, I have decided that this is the person I have become. Just the other day, I was in Barnes & Noble with my mom. I got there a little earlier than she did. By the time she got there, I had 6 books in my arms that I really wanted to buy just because I've heard such great things about these books. I ended up buying like 2 or 3, but still, I'm pretty sure my wallet hates me right now. So I have how many books? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 books in this book haul, and even though that isn't like a whole bunch of books, like it's a lot for me. Let's just get right into it. So that introduction was painful. That was painful. We're not even into the haul yet and I'm already pained. Let's continue. Oh God. The first book that I have is the beginning of a series that I've heard so much about, and that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Okay, I knew this book was coming because I remembered hauling it in this very first book haul that I ever did. I remember being so excited to read this book because it was such a booktube staple back in 2016, you know? It was like everybody read Throne of Glass, everybody knew about Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass was still, I want to say that like the fourth book had just come out or something like that, so like it was just right in its heyday, you know? I was so excited to read this series. Now, I did actually read this book and I read the entire series and I really loved it. I really enjoyed the series as a fantasy series. I thought that it was really good and I loved the romance and the plot and everything about it, and I really want to reread it, so I really loved it and I definitely would call this a win. I read this book and I hauled it and I'm proud of myself for that. We got 1 out of 1. Let's see how much more we can do. I've heard that it's really great. I've heard that the books kind of get a little worse over time. I've heard that the books get better over time. And I figured that the only way to find out for sure was to read it myself. And so I bought the first book. In other book hauls, people kind of explain what the book is about. I know this one, without even reading the excerpt, is about a girl named Selena, maybe, with a C. Don't really remember that. And she's some kind of an assassin, maybe. That's about all I got, but assassin sounds good to me. The next, to be honest, I don't think my summarizing has gotten much better in the 5 years that I've been here. I feel like I still pick up a book, like I still pick up a book like this and I'm like, it's demigods and stuff. This book that I have is one that I've been really excited to read, and that is This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp. I hated when in early videos I didn't know how to pronounce an author's name, and instead of looking it up like a normal person should, I just really slowly pronounced it and hoped that I got it right. Granted, I still don't know how to say her name. I'm not going to try to say her name and butcher it like I probably did in that video, but I apologize if that continues to happen in this one. I didn't read this book, actually. I ended up unhauling it after a year or two of owning it. I wanted to read it for a really long time because it's about, I think, a school shooting, I believe. It was told in a way that was like interesting to me at the time or something. I don't really remember anything about it other than that it was about a serious topic like a school shooting. Yeah, and that was it. And I think it just got to the point where school shootings became so like scary for me because like my younger siblings were in school and like they were becoming so like prominent and like so many of them were happening all the time, and it was just terrifying that I was like, nope, I don't want to read this book anymore, and I got rid of it. Definitely a serious book. I can't believe this is the second book that I ever hauled on my channel, but here we are. So we're at 1 out of 2 at this point. I am so sorry because I know that I butchered that so horribly. This book is about a school shooting. Just the tagline on it gives me like the chills. Everyone has a reason to fear the boy with the gun. Like, how terrifying does that sound? Just that one sentence. And just the cover. Like, do you see this cover? It's so simplistic, but it's so beautiful. Like, I need to read it. I know that it's told from 4 different point of views, and it's all about a school shooting, and I need to read it. I really do. So the next book that apparently I never learned anything more than what I already said about the book, because even in this video I didn't know shit about it, so that's fun. I have is one that my mom and I picked up in Barnes & Noble when we went, and I had like 6 books in my hands. You remember that story that I just told. That book is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. I'm actually kind of funny in this video, okay. Yep, never read Dorothy Must Die. We're not doing too well at this point. I remember when these books were really popular as well. I remember the main reason that I hauled a lot of the books that I did in this video were because they were really popular, and I was like, okay, like, a lot of other people are reading these books, like I should read these too. And that's literally the only reason why I hauled some of these. Did I really have an interest in this book? To be honest, not really. I really don't care for The Wizard of Oz, I'm sorry. I do like Wicked, but I don't care for like the actual movie of The Wizard of Oz and the story and whatnot, and just, I literally picked this up because it was just hyped and I was like, hey, everybody else is reading it, I should read it too. And that is not a good reason to buy a book and spend your money on a book. I'm just saying. Granted, like if you want to spend your money on a book that's super hyped that you don't actually have any interest in, by all means do it. Like nobody is policing you over that. That is your call, and if that makes you happy, then I say do it, god damn it. But if that does not make you happy and you're just doing it to be part of the bandwagon, just hopping on the bandwagon there, I would recommend you take a moment and you pause and you think, do I really need to spend my money on this book? Because the answer is probably no. Like I'm finding out now. Don't really like The Wizard of Oz. I've never really been a fan of The Wizard of Oz, which is probably why this book and this series like calls out to me so much, because it's a reverse Wizard of Oz kind of. It follows this girl Amy who's been recruited by the Revolutionary Order of the Wicked, and it's this reverse Wizard of Oz where Dorothy has taken power. The good witches can't be trusted and wicked witches just might be the good guys, and she is given this mission and she has to remove the Tin Woodman's heart, steal the Scarecrow's brain, take the Lion's courage, and then Dorothy must die. Sounds interesting and I really can't wait to read it. Like, oh my god. I can't. My reasoning for wanting to read this, I literally said in the video, I don't like The Wizard of Oz, but I think that's why I want to read this book about the Wizard of Oz. Like, what kind of weird mind... What was happening in my head at that point? Like, I don't like the Wizard of Oz, but you know what? I'm really gonna like this book about the Wizard of Oz. That's not how that works, Ashley. No wonder why you never read it. So the next two books that I have are ones that I've heard so much about. Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins and Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. This was such a 2016 book haul, oh my god. We're 1 out of 5 now. Basically, I just took too long to read these books, and by the time I got around to them, I just wasn't interested in them anymore, so eventually I unhauled them because of that. But I was really excited to read them, and they were super hyped at this point in time. Like in 2016, everybody was like, heck yes, like Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, Isla and Happily Ever After, Stephanie Perkins Rules the World, like everybody was about it. And I hopped on the train and then never read the books. So good to know that that is changed. I've heard so much about these books, oh my gosh, and they're 2 of the 4 books in my contemporary collection, which is like half of my contemporary collection. I have no idea what either of them are about. I know that Anna gets shipped off to boarding school in Paris and meets a French boy. I don't know anything about Lola. I am assuming she meets the boy next door. I love that. I don't know anything about these books, and then proceeds to explain the plot of Anna and the French Kiss. Anna gets shipped off to boarding school and meets a French boy. That's essentially the plot, I'm pretty sure, of the book, so. But, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. I've just heard so many great things about Stephanie Perkins. I've heard that her stories are so cutesy and fun and nothing bad happens in them, at least I think. The covers are so pretty. Like, I've seen the original covers. They're not that bad, but they're really bad at the same time. These books are just so beautiful, and I know that there's Isla and the Happily Ever After, and I'm meaning to get that one too, but I'm just so excited. Oh yeah, and these are ones that my mom actually bought me in Barnes & Noble after I picked up like 6 books, so thank you, Mom. Now I feel bad that I unhauled them now that I know my mom bought them for me. Sorry, Mom. My excitement was palpable. I was so excited for those books. Clearly not excited enough to read them right away, like I should have, but here we are. The next book that I have is one that I haven't really heard a lot about, and that is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I really love this cover because, again, it's like really simplistic, kind of, that there's really not a lot going on. I know it's about twins. That's about all I got. I actually still have this book, and I still haven't read it, which means it's been on my shelf for 5 freaking years. I am so embarrassed. Every time I do a book unhaul, right? Every time I go through my books and I pick out some books that I don't want anymore, that I'm not going to read anymore, that I'm not interested in, I always skim over this book and I'm like, am I really interested in this still? And for some reason, some part of me inside says, yes, you are, and I don't get rid of it. And multiple times I've thought about getting rid of it, and multiple times I've said, nah, you'll read it eventually, Ashley. And have I read it eventually? No, I haven't. I haven't. And I still have it. And it's been 5 years, apparently. We are 1 out of 6 now. I'm doing great. This is the 3rd contemporary novel out of 4 that I own, which I talked about in my last video, my booktube newbie tag, so go check that out if you want. Look at that. Look at it. It's orange and white. It's not very beautiful, but it's still beautiful. It's not boring. I can't put this back on. I'm not gonna do it on camera. So getting to my second. Do you remember when it was like a trend when people in book hauls would like take off the dust jacket and would like show like the naked book and whatnot, and everybody was like, ooh, ah, so pretty. Like, I feel like that's a trend that's just kind of like gone downhill since this point, and I'm not mad about it. Not mad about it. To last book I have here, Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. Oh my god, I did actually read this book. I didn't know that I hauled this in my first ever book haul. Go me! Yeah, I did read this book, and I actually read the second book, Wayfarer, and I totally forget every single time I talk about Alex Bracken that she ever wrote this series, that this series ever exists. Apparently it did not mean that much to me as I read it, so I just completely forgot about it. But yeah, this was like a time travel story about like 2 rivalry families who can like time travel or something like that. Something weird, but it was actually a really good duology, so if you're ever looking for a severely underrated story, check it out. I've heard a lot of things about Alexandra Bracken. I really, really want to read her Darkest Minds series, but I just haven't gotten my hands on it yet. That's so funny that I said that, because guess who also never read the Darkest Minds series? Me! I read the first book, never moved on. So I thought that Passenger would be my next best choice if I wanted to read something by Alexandra Bracken. I think it's about time travel, right? I'm really bad with summaries of books that I haven't read yet, as you can probably tell by now. I think I heard from somewhere that this is going to be a duology, so there's a second book that's coming out this year maybe. I really want to read something by Alexandra Bracken, and I figured this was my next best choice. Lastly, I have the book that I'm probably most excited to read, and that is Illuminae by I messed it up already. Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I knew this one was coming too. If there were 2 books that I remembered hauling in my very first book haul, it was Throne of Glass and it was Illuminae. Why? Probably because those are the only 2 that I read out of all of these. Actually, I read Passenger, but I didn't remember that I hauled it. So there's clearly a trend here. I was so excited to haul this book. I remember the first time that I ever saw this book, I don't think I've ever said this story. The first time that I ever saw this book was on a video, I think on Christine's channel, Poland Banana Books. She, I think, had an ARC of it, which the ARC was a hardcover version of the book, and I was like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, I was really new to the book community, so I didn't know really anything about anything, and I thought that it was really cool, and what really pulled me in was the cover itself. The fact that the dust jacket is kind of transparent, and underneath of it, the actual book of the hardcover book is like so like cool and highlighted and wordy and blacked out and like crazy stuff. It just made the reading experience like so much cooler, and it made the anticipation of reading it so much more, I don't know, hyped or whatever you want to call it. So I was really, really excited to get my hands on it. You can probably tell in the video and from what I will probably say that I'm not looking forward to. I'll probably be really excited for it. But yeah, I ended up reading the book. If you guys have been here for a while, you know, it's one of my favorite series. I love this series and I really want to reread it actually. It's been a couple of years, but it's just a super fast-paced, interesting sci-fi story told in the weirdest way, and I absolutely love it. So highly recommend if you like sci-fi to read it. Give it a shot. I mean, I know it's YA, but give it a shot. It's really good. I have wanted to read this book ever since I saw it. It's just the first time I saw it. There are a lot of reasons I want to read this book. One is that it's pretty big, so you're gonna get a lot in it. The second one is that it's the first book in a series. I don't know how many books there are going to be because I haven't really looked that up yet, but I know that the second one is probably going to be released this year, maybe? I don't know. I probably should have done my research before I did this video. Also good to see that I still don't do research. We love a changed woman. Everybody does this in their videos, so I felt like I needed to. Woo! look at it. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I think I might just put it on my shelf like this, like without this. Spoiler alert, she doesn't. She keeps the dust jacket on all the time. My mom and my sister, and they just kind of looked at me like, what's so special about that, Ashley? It's a book. And I'm like, no, but look at it! I think I cut off some editing there. Like, where was that story beginning? I started with my mom and my sister, and they were like, it's just a book. Like, what came before that? The last thing that I'm most excited for about this book is that it's told through emails and through IMing. It's not told in narrative book format. I just did... Yeah. So that's it for the book haul. I was going to do an April wrap-up, May TBR kind of video alone, but considering that I only read one book during April because my schedule was so crazy with working and school, and I decided I would just include them in this video because okay, so since the rest of the video was just my April wrap-up, May TBR or whatever from 2016, I'm not going to continue doing that. We're just gonna stop here. So yeah, to say that I've come a long way would be an understatement. Watching that video brings back so many memories. I remember how awkward I felt filming. I remember how much I tried to like emulate other people that I loved watching. I tried to be other people when I first started my channel, and it took me a really long time to kind of like find my own style and my own voice in a way. So yeah, I mean even still I, you know, get inspiration and ideas from other people, like with this video, you know. Hopefully I come across as my own person and less chaotic like that. But that was a fun trip down memory lane. It's good to know that I hauled 8 books and literally only read 3 of them and got rid of the other 5. I think that also I've changed in that way where I buy less books that I'm less interested in, and the books that I buy now are ones that I, you know, have on my list or that I'm really looking forward to reading. I'm not going to actually go through and count and see whether that's accurate or not, because I have a feeling I still have a pretty good ways to go before I actually read all of the books that I buy, but I will get there eventually. So there's that. Do you guys find that you read all of the books that you buy, or are you just kind of like an impulse buyer who will buy literally anything that's on anybody's radar, and you just go from there? You just have, you know, a big collection. Like which side of the spectrum are you? Or do you fall in the middle, kind of like me? Let me know in the comments. Thank you once again to Karma for sponsoring this video. Remember, you guys can check out the link in my description down below to download Karma on your computer and to start saving money while you are book shopping for that latest release. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's very helpful. So go ahead and check it out in the description down below. And other than that, I think that is going to be it for this video. So if you guys want to follow me on any of my socials, all my links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye!